to meet somebody anywhere, I don't want to meet them, because at the end of the day, if I don't receive whatever they're giving me, I don't have to. And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's good to do things in groups because they'll hold you accountable.
It's the same with these TikToks and stuff. The money's coming, but it's coming fast. And just as quick as it comes, they spend it. So it'd be interesting to see the world in 30 years.
The best way to do anything, see any kind of group, is you have to take some inventory every once in a while.
You got to keep your antennas up, but they might have a bad day. And so you can't judge them off that one appearance, because they might have a bad day, and that first appearance ain't always what they say. First appearance is the last appearance. That's not true. I might have went to child support court that day.
Warriors, come out to play.
That was good. That was good.
I like it.
We starting off new. Happy New Year to 2025. What's up, y'all? How you doing?
What's going on, Justin? What's going on, Helen? How y'all doing this evening?
Doing swell.
Doing exceptional. I feel really good. Actually, I'm a little tired today, y'all. I had to go to a training class at my job the last 2 days. And let me tell you something. Those things are brutal. Mm-hmm. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how much you hate it or how much you like it. No matter what, those things are freaking brutal. I won't do that. But anyway, enough about me. What's up, Helen? How you doing? I like that jacket you got on.
Thank you. Listen, y'all know last time I was struggling, it was too hot. Well, now it's the winter time, so we don't turn on our heaters. So
she called it winter, but she just don't know what weekend.
Right, ain't texting. But I'm doing well. My podcast actually kicked off Monday.
All right now.
Officially here. So check that out. It's called Honestly Helen on all platforms. It's only auditory, no visual, because mind your business. See me here or nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And Rebrand is going to be on it soon. I just told them that just now with y'all.
Oh, exciting. What's up? What's up?
What's going on with it, Goodson? How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing all right. I just had a big meal. I just had a big meeting. I feel pretty good. I'm thinking that we're going to have a great show. I'm excited about it tonight. We're talking about It Takes a Village. By the way, Yashika will be on late for all of y'all who are not here. All of y'all who are here watching and wondering why she's not here. But she will be here. She will be late. We're excited about tonight's show. It's called It Takes a Village. Helen, I'm going to let you take over a little bit in about 10 minutes on this show and tell us some scenarios, and then we're going to just go there. But I do want to say, this has always been like a strong topic of discussion, right? Back in the 90s, I don't know if y'all remember, Charles Barkley had this real famous commercial. Do you remember that, Ace?
Yeah. He's not a role model.
He had this real famous commercial. This is probably right around the time you were born, maybe before you were born, Helen. And he said, excuse me, he is not a role model, that only your parents should be a role model.
I am not a role model. I'm not paid to be a role model. I am paid to wreak havoc on the basketball court. Parents should be role models. Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids.
So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Is that true? Do we feel like that? Are the celebrities role models, everything? Anyway, before we do that, let's get to the comments. What's up, Vinny Stills? How you doing?
What's up, Vince? How you doing? Happy New Year.
And yeah, we really appreciate you for watching. Be sure to comment all night. Everybody comment. So that's what we're talking about tonight. It takes a village. All right, now, as we get started, I guess it's very necessary to understand exactly what that means. It takes a village to raise a child. So, Ace, tell us, what does that mean to you with your experience?
Basically, when you have children, you probably need to travel to Africa to villages so that everybody can come together and rear their child in the way they should go. That's not the... Okay. That's the wrong definition.
I'm looking forward to Ace tonight at the end of the show. What do you think? Maybe we give Ace a little bit of time to think about it. What does it mean to you? It takes a village. Charles Barkley say he's not a role model, so he's not a part of your village. What do you think?
Listen, now it's so funny because that clip, I resonate with that clip. However, I also agree that it takes a village. So I have no kids. Amen. Thank the Lord. but I am an auntie, and I am an auntie to 3. I have 2 nephews and a niece. And what I'm learning is that although they're not my kids, I am learning to accept that there might come a point in time where I am going to have to do more than I want to do, honestly, because they're my kids. Because they're my niece and nephew. And if they need something, who am I? And what do I look like letting them go without if I got the means to help them and their parents don't?
Absolutely.
So, I ain't got kids, but I got kids.
Yeah. If you an aunt, you got kids.
Right.
You know, yeah, definitely. You definitely they role model too. So
yeah, and listen, before you say something, just like to that point, I think that commercial is valid, very valid. I still think their parents and my niece and nephew should be their role model. However, the reality is they're not good role models. So to Ace's point, I am a role model by default. Like, I don't think, I'm sure I would have been a role model regardless because I'm a good person and I'm always going to make sure I'm instilling values in them. But if their parents are more aligned with how it was, they would already have role models and I would just be adding on to like, dang, okay, our family really like solid in this. But now it's like, no, I have to, like, that's the one thing that made me realize that I'm part of their village. Like, oh my God, I really actually have to be intentional with how I show up for them. Because I might be me and my sister and maybe a few of the other family members, only one of the few positive influences that can show them an alternative way to deal with life or go through life, learn how to grow up, all that.
oh yeah, that's real.
So I guess the main question is, are celebrities really role models? What's up, Yashika? How you doing?
Oh no, speaking of role models, we're gonna make
everybody.
one.
Right. Hey, girl.
Yo, struggle is real.
Hey,
Whoever
real
told
life-
you it wasn't, they told a
real
lie.
life comes at you fast. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Now that I see my favorite people.
Right on, right on, right on.
I like you in black, Yashika. This look good on you. I like it.
Thank you. Wore it to work. I just had to get out of work and come straight here.
Love you for that. Thank you so much.
She's in Studio B of Rebrand Studios. Thank you for joining us over there in that room. She's down below me here, but she's actually over there. All right, look, so tonight we're talking about It Takes a Village. Before you came in, I think we just posted a question. Are celebrities role models? And Charles Barkley, we did play his commercial from the 90s. I'm sure you remember that. When he said, let your parents be your role model, right? So, you know, it's interesting because for a long time, I thought that was stupid. I thought, no, man, you have to be a role model. But then, you know what? That means that the kids have to be glued to the TV and the kids have to be glued to magazines and they got to understand what's going on in pop culture, et cetera, which is no different than today, Ace, how we're allowing our kids to be on cell phones and how we're allowing our kids to be on iPads, et cetera, et cetera. So role models should not be celebrities. What we should be is like Helen is an aunt. She should be a role model. Yashika, it was an aunt who became a parent and no longer an aunt, but you know that situation. And so that's a role model. I have 2 nephews. Of course, they're now in their 20s, but I should be a role model to them. I don't expect Michael Jordan to step in and do that. I don't expect Michael Jordan to pay for college for my nephews if they're short a little bit. I'll try to step in and do that. Now, of course, that's assuming a parental role, but nevertheless, a role model, I don't expect for any celebrity to do that.
I think that the unfortunate part, though, I hear you saying that, but to me, the unfortunate part is celebrities are role models, especially this day and age. Yeah. And most of the time, or a lot of the time, I won't say most of the time, is that these role models that, especially this day and age, because the BBLs have gone crazy. And one of the big reasons why people are changing even the way they look is to try to live up to what they seen a celebrity do. So I think at least this day and age, I know back then we had a lot of people trying to be like other people, but this day and age, celebrities are a role model, and to me it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's you know what, and another issue why it's so unfortunate is there are so many celebrities today.
Woo.
Y'all know when we were kids, we had a couple musicians, a couple actors, a couple athletes, maybe the president, and that's it. But today you got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got all these different people who are trying to be celebrities in every I don't know if y'all saw the video of the young man. He thinks he's a celebrity. He got 1.4 million followers. And a white guy looks really, really gay, but he got a girlfriend. Yeah,
nothing wrong with people, y'all.
This is our last show after the new year.
It is.
But he thought he was a role model. He thought he was a celebrity, and it was so important for both. Of course, he was getting arrested, going to jail. So now, obviously, a good role model. But anyway, moving right along. So Helen, I'm talking about going to jail. All right. So tell me how this is near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, I don't remember the specific story that came up with this. However, I do. My reality is my reality, so I'm sure it's along those lines. My brother is the one that has kids, and my brother is also older than me by 6 years, I think. So there is a little bit of responsibility that I did not expect to take on when he decided to have kids. One, because he decided to have kids, right? So the whole village thing, I really didn't include aunties because now that I'm talking about it, my aunties wasn't a part of my village. Like my mom's sisters, I wasn't close to my mom's sisters. Like I don't have aunties that I can think of. So me being an auntie wasn't like a big deal. I was just like, okay, sir, like you know, you popping them out, you doing your thing, let's do it. Then he had his kids and he started making decisions that I don't think were the best. And so now fast forward, my niece is 8, my nephew is 5. 4 going on, no 5. And then I have another nephew that they just had who's 1. He just turned 1 in November. And they're in a situation where realistically, me and my sister might have to step in and take on a little bit more responsibility, which is fine. But I think what I was saying to the family here was like, the hard part is that when there's no reciprocity there, and so I don't really want to be a part of his village because I'm not getting any like help to be like, there's no meeting me halfway to help his situation be better. But at the end of the day, I have to understand, like we were saying earlier, this isn't about me and it isn't about my brother. It's about those kids who didn't ask to be there. And if I have a means to take care of them, I have to learn to put my hangups with my brother and how he's going about being the dad in his situation aside. And realize I might have to be a mom. And y'all know I don't have kids, and that's very intentional on my behalf. And to be in a situation where now I might have to act more like a mother before I've wanted to is where I came to understand that it takes a village, because I can be upset about it, but I'm not going to let my kids go without, right? If my niece call me and say she's hungry, I'm sending my brother money to get my niece some food, whether or not she's hungry or not, because at the end of the day, I know their situation and I know my brother needs more help than he's asking for. I feel like I'm talking in circles now, but that's basically it.
Well, you're on the screen with 2 professionals down below you. One is way more professional than me over here. You know, the situation. You doing the right thing, and like you said, you got the right attitude. It's about those kids, and it's not about that situation. And you know what? You're getting practice. You're getting motherhood practice. You'll be a professional when it's time for yours.
I'm gonna say something nobody probably wants to hear, and I'll probably get judged for it. Guess what? Okay with it. I'm okay with it. What I will say, in my experience, right? Because I raised my brother's kids. They were 1 and 2. They're 22 this month and 23 next month. They're 11 months apart. And so I got them when they were babies. I was 23. And so I'm 44 if y'all trying to do the math.
You're too late.
I couldn't get to it fast enough.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it was too late. It's too late.
I'm sorry.
I tried.
I don't care. It is what it is. But what I will say, Helen, is that if knowing then what I know now is you're probably not gonna like me for saying it, y'all. I'm gonna say it. Sometimes there's casualties.
Right. Yep.
Not all the time, and I've learned this, and I learned this through experience. Okay, I'm not telling you something that I think. I'm telling you I've learned this through experience. Sometimes there is, and it's not your job to save him in his situation. I understand because I'm an aunt too, and so I understand, and I love for real. Like that's why when you got me, you got me. You know. But it was not my responsibility. It was not Ace's responsibility, and it's not yours. People are people. We get that. But a lot of times, if you make your bed, you kind of need to lay in that. And I've learned that as an adult, or as a much older adult, is that I was 23 years old.
Right.
I had no business having a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old that I did not birth, taking care of my whole 23 years old. But I did it, and that's God. I did it. I took care of it. But we have to remember to think of ourselves. And it sounds selfish, and I'm not even trying to be mean. And I probably don't, nobody likes me anymore. And that's okay. But you have to kind of think of you too.
Right.
Because you're important too.
Put the oxygen mask on
and so
first.
we have to kind of think about ourselves. And oftentimes, especially when it comes to family, we don't. But they think about themselves. They don't put things aside to do things for you. So you just have to be, and I had to learn this. It took years and years and years. I got a whole bunch of stories that a lot of people wouldn't want me to tell on here, so I'll tell you later. But sometimes there's casualties. I'll just say that. And I'm not telling you to turn your back on your family. I would never do that. But I don't want you to lose yourself trying to help somebody else's situation.
Right.
That's a great, that's a great statement right there.
Yeah, I wonder though. See, I don't think that when people hear the term "it takes a village to raise a child," they don't understand what that truly means. And I agree. I think it does, but I also think that the parents have to be parents, and then I got to step up when the kids are out.
Additional,
because the parents can't be in 9, 10, 15, or even 2 or 3 places at one time. They can only be in 2. One mother somewhere and father somewhere. So what I have to be as not even the uncle. I can be a next door neighbor. I could be that older cat down the street. I could be the best friend of one of the parents. And when I see that kid stepping out, because the idea is, what is the whole point of raising children? It's so that we can guide them to be some great citizens and do the absolute best thing that they can do. So if it takes a village to raise a child, my role as a non-parent to this child is to make sure that when he step out of line, we put him back in line.
When the parents aren't around. Yeah.
We got to get him in line so that he can get the best out of this situation, right? I see you hanging with these boys over here, young player. I need you to, what do you say? Hey, young man, I see you hanging with these boys over here. This is not a good group over here. I need you to stir it. You're a smart kid. Let's get over here. You're a football player, whatever. And you put them right back. That's where the village comes in. A lot of people think it's about raising children or raising someone else's children. It's not even about money. When I was a kid, I remember one time I did something, and I won't say names, but the most unlikeliest of people saw me do something I wasn't supposed to be doing. I was really young, maybe 8 or so. And this person pulled me aside. She said, your mother would be upset with me if I didn't give you a spanking. And I never told my mama, and I'm sure that woman probably did. This woman gave me a spanking. I was 8 years old. And there wasn't she took a belt switch off and whooped me half to death. But it was enough to make me realize, all right, I can't act up at home.
I gotta be careful.
But I also can't act up in public.
Yeah. Let me ask you, I will say, I think I have the latter understanding of it takes a village, because I grew up in a family of a lot of broken families. And so the parents being there is not a thing. So you have to be the parent. So in that situation, like the reality of it, and I pose this to everybody here, the reality of our world now is we have too many people having babies that aren't being parents. So then what does it mean in today's world of it takes a village? Because if you and Yashika, before I even get there, yes.
Okay. Good.
Dialed in.
And I'm telling you it because I love you. And I'm telling you, I'm 20 years in. And we'll talk after this. But it ain't up to me. You know what I mean?
Look at that closet.
And as much as hard work I put in and the things I did for these kids, for the kids, I'm telling you, I can't talk about it for too long because it'll make me teary about how I'm being treated afterwards. Would I do it again? I'm not sure. I'm grateful I did it. I think I instilled some really good values in them. I think I'm a decent parent. whatever will be because you can't control people. That even means your kids, whether you had them or not.
Right.
So, but I just don't want that for you. And I'm not saying you do what you do. I'm just saying I want you to be mindful of it. I want you to think about it. Don't be so impulsive, because sometimes we just jump to do stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, it took a lot for me to even get them. It took a lot. And I wouldn't stop. I just go. You go. But sometimes you didn't do it.
Right.
So Benny Sims says, us being from Sulphur Springs, our Black community was our village. And that's true. That's the beauty of the small town. And I think most small towns are becoming larger cities now. And so back when we were kids, of course, it was a long time ago, and even further back when our parents and their parents.
How long ago was it when you was a kid?
It's not a couple years ago. It wasn't
long time ago.
But yeah, I mean, it did. Like we knew everybody. The beauty of growing up, I always say if I had my choice, if I could do it right, like when my daughter, her mom raised her, we wasn't together, whole situation. I still was in her life, but I didn't get the chance to do what I wanted to do. But if I could have, I would have taken my son or my daughter back, if I had another kid, to my hometown. Small town, Black community, small population. I lived around the corner from Benny that just made that post. And what we did is we knew everybody. So everybody raised every single child. Now, don't get me wrong. They know, that's them such and such kids. I'm not going to mess with them. They already, I'm not about to let some 12-year-old cuss me out. So, hey, just walk down the street with your shirt off. I remember, here's an interesting part about it.
Right, what? The shirt off?
So,
just walk down the street with your shirt off.
My mama wouldn't let you walk down my street with your shirt off. She like, nah, hey, Kendrick, meathead, whoever it was, put your shirt on. And they knew it. After a while, they get to where they know it. They'll see, let me put this shirt on. That's respect. That's the village raising the kids. Sometimes they have to say it. They take the shirt off. They had the shirt off before. They put the shirt on when they go down the street, and then they take the shirt off when they get down the street. But it's respect. Remember, I always say number one in everything is respect. So that's respect. You are raising that child without even having to raise a finger or say a word. You've done it in the past. You already put the work in.
I used to. It's crazy how what's crazy is the village doesn't have a certain look to it. My village was a strange one, but it worked in a sense. But simple things like I remember I used to before I had more responsibilities, I used to keep stacks of ones, and I didn't go to strip clubs, but I used to actually give young men $1 if they had their pants pulled up with a belt on.
Dang!
Just randomly, and it'd be a group of them. It'd be like 5 dudes, and this one of them had his pants up. I was like, "Here you go, young man. I know it's not a lot, but thank you for that." And I give them that. They be, "Oh God, you want?" I like, next time I see you, have your pants up. It's something small, but it was just something I was like, well, at least I can, I can do that.
Yeah.
They can do it today. They gonna lie, I want that $1.
Yeah.
Really?
They can have it today. Because the village, that was gonna be the next thing I said. The village doesn't exist.
I got kids.
But hey, look, man, put them
$20. You can give me a 20.
Yeah. But
so you go in your wallet, pull out all them 20s, and you mess around and give me 4 quarters.
I saw them 20.
My village, what's crazy? My village was all of the, I guess what you would call lower class of society, and who shouldn't be a role model. That was my village, and they stood me straight. I laugh about it all the time. People think I'm crazy, but the prostitutes used to give me lunch money. They used to come here, boy, and brush my hair. That's probably what happened now. They brush too much. But I'll be walking to school and they say, "Come here, boy, you got some money? Take this $1." Put $1 in my pocket, and they brush my hair and wipe your face and wipe your nose and stuff like that.
Where the brush come from?
Not going to school. And you know what? To this day, I don't know. I hope it wasn't they groomer for their occupation. But it was little stuff like that, and I never thought.
Who's carrying around brushes?
Yeah,
female is carrying around brushes.
I wonder what you use the brush for.
Well, the big question was they came up $1 short. I wondered, did they get beat up for them dollars? Like,
I wonder, was they doing something strange with them brushes?
Yeah, I was too young to know that, but that's a village though.
Right.
That's crazy.
Says our communities are not the same. The villages have changed. If you raise someone else's children, how is that going to make them grow up, and the responsibility that they as parents are supposed to have? I agree with that too. Let's go back to the question that we had.
That leads right into that question.
Do children of good parents need? No, that's the wrong one. Can a village raise a good child if the home is toxic?
Woo. Y'all got to answer.
You know what? I think life experiences can. I've seen some toxic homes where the kids come up good, but I've also seen like the village raised the kid. Like my household, I had friends that came from different types of households. I'm not gonna say what kind, right? But they come to my household. They used to call my household the Cosby, because we were one of those who had both parents, right? And everything. So they would come to our house and we would share food. We would share this. But the most important thing that we would share, Yashika, is we would all, my mom and my dad, both. Even my dad was more of a nurturer than he realized, but they both would share love. And that was raising all of my friends who didn't necessarily have that in their home. Now, I can't really think of anybody who didn't have love in their home. So I don't even want to make that statement. But I'm saying there's a lot of things that we had that they didn't have, and vice versa. But when they came there, unintentionally, they were being raised. My dad would always take on Friday nights, when I was in the 8th, 9th, 10th grade, he would take all the young men to the high school football games all around the area that we would go to, 30 and 50 miles away. And this is a fatherly role model. You know what I mean? This is raising children. Yeah. And they knew that they couldn't be in trouble. They couldn't do anything wrong. They couldn't disrespect women. They couldn't go cussing. None of this stuff in order to get in there. And it came with us. I don't remember if he charged anything. I can't remember that. Nevertheless, he was being a father. He was raising these children, and not necessarily intentionally.
But he was making core memories.
Yeah.
And kids, everybody that went, remember that. Yep. Just like you telling it, they can tell it. Same story, same way. Yeah, maybe a different way, but still.
You know what? I don't know why I was like, I'm not sure. Y'all tell me, but yes, I think you're right, because I don't like to say my childhood was toxic, because I think I've heard enough stories to know that my childhood was pretty tame compared to what some people really go through. But I didn't have a normal childhood. Like my mom, I think I might have said it before, my mom was a alcoholic, and then I later found out that she was a active crackhead. So my mom used crack during my childhood. Never would have known that, because food was always on the table. Food was on the table. She found a way to make sure we always had food in our bellies, always had a roof over our head, always was school presentable. She didn't play about grades. She didn't play about manners. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. She didn't care for the N-word. So she handled her business as a mom. And on TV, you see crackheads displayed as people that aren't together. So even when I found that out, I was like, there's no way, because the way my mom raised me, ain't no way she's out here doing crack. That don't make sense. But she did. It was a very successful one. But without my cousins and I got a lot of cousins, I don't think I would be where I am today without them, because they were my village. When my mom was having her moments, we could call them and be like, yo, my mama tripping. That's all we have to say. And they'd be like, all right, give me 15 minutes. And we would just wait. And we would just leave. My mom would trip while we leave. And then she would call us the next day when she was there. She's like, y'all cool? Y'all safe? Apologize about her behavior. And then we would just come home when the weekend was over. But if your household can be crazy, if you have understanding, if you have experience, like you guys were saying, that contrast from your house. Like my cousins, both parents, and they had money. So I was able to see that people could have two household families and you could do things as a family, although I didn't have that at my house. That makes sense. So I guess I'm saying all that to say you can have a toxic home if that child is able to experience experiences that contradict with their environment. So you can live in the ghetto, but if you got one uncle that can take you to the suburbs, or a cousin that takes you to the suburbs, that can take you travel, you now have an experience. You're like, okay, this is a reality because I know somebody that lives this. And so now you planted that seed that my circumstances isn't all that I'm going to be.
Save my life.
That way y'all talking.
Save my life.
Love it. Look, let's talk a little bit more about it when we come back. Can a village raise a good child if the home is toxic? I really like that question. We're going to take a quick break real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to answer that question. But first, let's hit a few comments. Deborah Goodson says, Anthony, your dad never charged kids to go to the game. He enjoyed it as much as they did. We have a couple more comments. Hall Boy, and we have Nan. I'm going to read both of y'all's comments when we come back. But first,
and Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada, because Canada, they come through Canada too. And the drugs that are coming through are at record numbers. record numbers. So we're going to make up for that by putting tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Mexico's really in trouble, a lot of trouble. Very dangerous place. And we're going to be announcing it because we do most of the work there and it's ours. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
We say it takes a village to raise a child. But modern parents don't live in villages. Villages used to be a natural way for us to learn from and receive help from our extended families and the surrounding communities. Now, parents often dive alone into the most important life-changing role they may ever have, with little preparation and support. What today's parents need are modern villages. In my second pregnancy, I created a modern village. It does indeed take a village. For the sake of children and parents, we must build these modern villages. Mothers and fathers, we must learn to be vulnerable and ask for help. And we, as family, as friends, as neighbors, we must learn to step up and support parents.
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to go get the most driest, boring video.
Oh man, boy, I
should have led off with that.
Girl.
I should have led off with that and ended with Donald Trump. Oh man.
Baby girl.
Go for America. That sounds like a new shopping mall. Oh, I'm going to the door.
Let's go to the comments. Nan Sims Harris, she says, yes, my son had friends that parents wasn't around for certain reasons. They stayed in my house for years. I love them as kids. Absolutely. What's up, fam? What's up, cuz? How you doing?
Oh, what's up, man?
She also says, I have young men that call me mama because they was at my house so much. Yeah.
That's that village behavior.
You know, it's a trip. You don't really understand the impact that you actually make. Like Sydney, my daughter, who's here, by the way, we have an audience. She had little girls that would come over, and of course, you know, you got to tread a level course and be very careful as a single man at the time and raising a daughter who has female friends coming over. But the idea was a lot of them didn't have fathers around in the house. And I know how important it is to have dads. We talk about moms, we know that importance. But it's also important to have a good role model in your life. And, you know, I fortunately had my dad, or have my dad, and always have to the fullest that you could have a dad, you know, one who raised me. And I hate to say friends because I don't think parents and kids should be friends.
So he always came back from getting cigarettes. He always came back.
You know, they go get cigarettes and just stay gone.
We appreciate that. We appreciate it.
But I also had uncles. I also had big cousins. I also had aunties. You know, so those people, they played a major role, but they're blood. You know, sometimes we think that that's just your job as a blood relative. I also had James Cleveland, which is a documentary that's coming out hopefully this summer. And in addition to people like him, I had Kevin Woodson, who's always on this show, which Kevin was much later in life when I was an adult. So, you know, I think it takes a village even outside your own blood, and that's when it really gets important.
It got to. You know, that's a good feeling. You know, me and Goodson, we both used to work at the same juvenile detention facility. And when I run into some of them dudes in the street right now, you'll see these hard, tough guys run up and just give me the biggest hug and introduce me to their family.
Ran a day in his life. What are you talking?
You say what?
You need to use another word other than run. When I run into
the point is non-blood, but I had a big influence in their life, and they think, you know, I met them. They came to me as like some little knucklehead, quote unquote convicts, and they left out as young men heading on a different path to change their life, and that's a good feeling.
Sound like a movie.
Yeah, I mean, you can write it. We can write it.
In an ideal world, I think the simplicity of what it means to have a village according to what y'all really had, is people just holding you accountable to being a good adult, like or a decent human being, right? Like if we all just in simple terms just generally was like, yeah, you know, you shouldn't be throwing rocks at these people's houses. Stop it.
Yeah.
Everybody
some people like, hey, you ain't supposed to be throwing her, boy. Hold a rock like this, you're gonna throw it, boy.
Like but you know what I'm saying? Like on the simplest terms, a village is people holding you accountable, and it's coming from a place of I just know that you can do better, and you are better than whatever I'm seeing you do that I have to check you on. And if I'm not checking, I'm congratulating you, I'm showing you love. It's because I want you to know that I see you, I believe in you, and you can do the things that you want to do because I believe in you and you believe in you. And that's all it has to be. But we live in this weird, twisted world, and I don't know how we got here, but
yeah, I would say, because as everybody's been talking, I've been searching my brain, trying to see my village, and I don't see it. So I will say,
you're talking about the village for your children,
for my childhood,
or the village that you're in.
When I was a kid, for my childhood. You know, Helen talked about her cousins being a savior. Your house was the Cosbys. He's getting brushed by ladies of the night. For me, I'm trying to see it and I don't. And that doesn't mean it wasn't there, I guess, but I don't see it, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. We moved from Denver, Colorado to Kalamazoo, Michigan. We knew absolutely nobody. And that's where I was raised. And that's where I always say I'm from, because my friends are there. And so maybe my friends as I grew up, but we were all kind of in the same situation. Some was even worse than me. You know what I mean? So I don't see my village. I just knew that I wanted to be the opposite.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's my village. Whatever mistakes, because I don't want to put my mother down. It was challenging, but she made it. She got her second act. I'm so proud of her. So I'm not here to put her down at all. But I will say that whatever mistakes she made, I did anything she did, I did the opposite. And that's how I've lived my life. That's why I've never done a drug. I don't really drink, you know. I work really hard all the time, so I'm late for the show. You know, I just tried to do the opposite. And I think in me, I try to encourage people, and hopefully I keep y'all encouraged and stuff. And anybody else, call me. If I can't do nothing, I can encourage you, right? But I don't see that. So I guess my question is, what if there isn't a village for a child?
I pulled this question up this answer up just a moment ago for a reason. Vinny Sims says, for me, other villages was my football team, teammates and coaches. We were together 5-6 days a week. So big ups to my Wildcats village. I think that we can also see villages out, because your teammates are your same age for the most part, especially in high school. So, you know, that love, again, I go back to love. I think love that's being shown. Have you ever heard of this? There was a pact made by these young men. I think it was like 5 or 6 men. And what they did is they all came together and said, we're living in this hood. We're living in this horrible situation. We're going to be successful through whatever. You're going to be mad at me. I'm going to be mad at y'all. But whatever it takes, we're going to be successful. They came together and they said, we're going to be lawyers. It's 5 black men. And all 5 of them went off to college together. All 5 of them went off to law school together. And today, all 5 of them are lawyers. That's a village right there.
You got their phone numbers?
Right.
We didn't have a village. We had each other.
I guess that's no.
It backs up what I was
We sure did. Yes, we did, Margie. We did. We
loved
each other. Tamara Thomas, that's one of my oldest friends. I've been friends with her for over 30 years.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tamara. We appreciate you taking care of girl.
You got a comment, but you know what though? I think that we underestimate what villages truly are. We always think,
I guess we do. Yeah.
I say they don't have age
friends, and so I guess y'all helped me realize that I did, because I had my friends.
Yeah. And I'm sure you had a teacher.
I did. I had a teacher. But my friends, I'm telling you, I come driving the flight from Michigan last month. I was crying like I lost my dog. Because I was missing my friends. I hadn't seen them, and that's my village. Now I see it, but I'm about to cry now. Just think about it.
Oh man!
But listen, I just Sorry, Anthony. Sorry.
Oh, it's on you.
I think it's just so important, and it's so important. I think as we grow up to be able to just be open-minded, to see things differently, and I think it's Yashika, I love you, and I love that Tamara has a friend for you. I'm big on sisterhood, really big on sisterhood. And I'm really big on genuine sisterhood, but I'm even bigger on people being able to grow. So the fact that you were just able to sit here, listen to everybody, and from my perspective, maybe be a little jaded. She's like, damn, y'all got villages that's sounding cool, but where the hell is mine? But still able to sit here and be like, you know what? Actually, I did. So let me, like, it's so important. I think sometimes we get so caught up in wanting to be a victim. And I'm not saying this is usually like,
no, that's true.
So caught up in wanting to say, it could have been so easy for you to sit here and then try and play that. Oh yeah, no, like I have friends. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to just sit here and be like, you know what?
It's me.
So I did have a village, and it didn't look like how I thought it looked like, because we wouldn't have Yashika who Yashika is if you didn't have those friends.
That's true.
You not even realizing that was your village. You just like, yeah, these are my people. But them friends shaped you in some way, shape, or form where you're now here today.
I agree.
And I love you, and I just want to thank you and give your flowers for being vulnerable and having fun with us on the show.
All right. Now think about how much better she would be if she had been watching Dolomite while she was growing up. And other Black exploitation.
You see how you take a beautiful moment and you drop it.
That's beautiful.
My hand, you just dropped it. It's over.
That flower smelled so good, and he just flushed it down the
But roses really smell like
boo.
Some of them. I have some out here that smells amazing. True story.
He sound like Vernell Hill talking about his lake. The catfish are amazing.
Delicious. Catfish are delicious. Yeah, it takes a village. You know, do we need that same village as adults?
Yes.
Like, I mean, because we're friends, we're family, we're this, that, and other. But that village, I guess, is the circle of friends that you have around you that makes you better, that drives you in the right direction. Me and my friend Chad Henley, I don't know if he's watching. He's been on the show several times. But every Monday from here on out, 2025, I said, Chad, until I finish my documentaries, until you finish your book, every Monday we're going to motivate each other. That's our small little village, right? So as an adult, don't you still need a village, or is that like a coach? What do you want to call that?
Yeah.
All the above. All the above.
I read Vince's.
Way to come in now.
That's what he said. That's what she said.
She said,
I thought about Yashika. That's all like, oh man,
it's coming.
I was literally thinking that though. I think I don't know. I'm not gonna. I think we absolutely do need villages as adults, and I think because I just was thinking about y'all. Like sometimes when I think about situations, I'll think about y'all and how y'all might respond to it, because y'all are older than me, and I've developed a rapport and trust between y'all that y'all are my village of counselors in my mind. Like if I need advice from people that have lived life and have been through some things that I haven't yet, I think of y'all.
Damn. I'm sorry.
You know what?
Yeah, you
that hurt my feelings at all.
You need
them, y'all my village for sure.
As adults, you need them. You need a village. I think even more.
That's what I was gonna say, but I didn't know if I was gonna get real.
No, you do. You do. You don't know how many times I value Goodson's advice to a certain extent. I'll be like, yo, Goodson, such. You know, it's 50-50.
I think the barbershop, it's the village for men who don't know. Counseling is a village. You know, obviously friendships are a village. When you go to church and you actually do what you're supposed to do in church and, you know, do all the things, then it becomes a village itself. I think the better parents have a stronger village around them. You know, they got, you know, as a great parent, you got to have that. That's why Yashika and Ace and all y'all are such great parents, because y'all have moments where y'all can get away from the kids. Like, you know, Yashika has great help with her father, and et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, I think if you have a strong village wrapped around you, it makes you a stronger parent. No doubt.
I agree.
No doubt. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back to talk about It Takes a Village, but we want to talk a little bit more on the parental side. We'll see y'all in about 1 minute.
I get money, I'm a star.
she could tell us what really just grinds your gears.
What really grinds my gears when you call people and they don't answer the phone, and then they show up on camera as if they done nothing.
I'll tell you what grinds mine. How about somebody who think that they know the job and come and tell you everything, and you're like, I'm in the street.
They ain't never did it. They said, I can relate. Grinds my girl. It kills me. Ugly twins. Y'all don't understand. Ugly twins, period. Like, you made 2 of them.
Hair up under women's arms. That grinds me.
That's natural.
Not if you got more than the man beside you.
Yeah, but armpit hair is natural.
You got all that taco meat under there?
Hey.
When I'm inside, it done made me feel like I'm not supposed to have hair.
Yeah, a certain amount. Yeah.
Zach, you stepped on some toes with that one.
I think I did.
Helen, you can get it back later. We'll talk about child support.
Right.
When a person says, "Oh, I know for a fact," I instantly stop believing them at that very moment.
Yeah, the truth don't need no support.
Georgia said, what grinds my gears is when someone solicits you for advice, does the opposite, and expects you to bail them out of trouble.
Come on.
Chris Bell says, when someone gives you directions with no street name, just landmark.
The gear grinding is fun.
Armpit, I will never know.
Hey, just to show those some of the body parts we didn't have nipple piercing,
right?
Armpits, eyes.
Oh yeah, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're talking about It Takes a Village. It's been a whole lot of fun as we get ready to close the show up. We got one more question. Do children of good parents need role models outside of their parents? That's the last question. I'm gonna throw that out there. You know, the idea is I don't want my daughter to have a negative role model. I don't want my child to have that. But nevertheless, I know I'm not the only one. She's got to be influenced by somebody outside of me. My dad used to tell me all the time. He used to say he'd teach me how to pitch, and I would never listen to him. I wouldn't do it that way. But then when I go to see these coaches at the baseball field, they show me the exact same thing my daddy just showed me, and I do it. And when I come home, he would say, "Oh, you let the white man teach you how to do it, but you won't listen to me."
Literally.
Yeah.
What are y'all thoughts on that? Do children of good parents need role models outside of those parents?
Definitely.
The
And
more the merrier.
I hand them over. My oldest baby, I put the book Rich Dad Poor Dad in her hand very early, just for her to get that concept. You know, because I think, you know, children are more prone not to, you know, because you're not as cool to them as you know, somebody else. So there's definitely influences coming from the outside.
Cameron says, yes, good parents are perfect example.
God parents.
I agree, and I think that good parents, the kids still will do or say something to another village member what they want, or scared, or maybe to say to their parents. You know, when you say good parents, a lot of times kids may think their parents, they have so much respect, something happened and they don't want to tell them. Mm-hmm. And they may tell a village member, but they won't tell them. You know, it could be all kind of stuff. I would like my kids to have a village. I mentioned this before. I'm going to be real quick about it. But when Roman was on the show and the way that you and Ace handled my baby, I just loved it. Because it wasn't, y'all didn't coddle him at all, but just the way you talked to him was definitely a part of the village.
That's village mentality.
How you spoke to him and how y'all was talking to him. Like he told me today, you guys do another Pop the Balloon reaction video, you got to invite me on there. I want to be on there. I'm like, say less, Roman. Say less. But just y'all talking to him and the way y'all treated him, he wants to be a podcaster. He didn't want to do stuff like that before that. We would try to get him to do, and he don't want to do that kind of stuff. But since he did that, he said, can I come on the show every once in a while? And it had nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was the way that he interacted with other men, or he was a young man, but you know, how he interacted with y'all is what made him more interested. I've been doing this for how long? He didn't find it interesting, you know.
Well,
since he came on and he talked to you and Ace, because he didn't really say he talked to you and Ace, he sold on it. And that's because the village. That's a village thing. That's
And
not
I'm
a me
still
thing.
say I'm salty. I wasn't there.
You know, that's that village mentality. That's a when it's the village, he's an automatic nephew.
Right.
Right.
It's instantly, you know, he's an automatic nephew. So
But they
and
feel that though. He
they
felt
have,
that though.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's to
And
be
you know
genuine.
what's crazy is when those young men come before you in those situations like that, you feel compelled to be that person that uplifts to him and stuff like that.
Really quick, Yashika, you just made me realize something. So I was with my ex for 5 years. My nephew is 5, my niece is 9, right? My ex has met my nephew and my niece, didn't care for him. And I was like, hey, y'all don't care for him? Say less. He ain't got to be around. We ain't got to do nothing.
Yeah.
I got a new man now, dated him about a year, maybe less than a year. My nephew FaceTimed me this week and asked about my guy. He was like, where's Isaiah at? He's only hung out with him twice.
Good
I
experience.
say that to say to Yashika's point. Isaiah he loves kids. He's always loved kids. When I met him, I was like, that's weird because I don't know if I want that, but I love that you got that in you. So when he met my nephew, who I've always kind of like I share a little bit, my brother's in a weird situation. My nephew, before I met Isaiah, I was worried. I'm like, I'm a woman. At some point, he's gonna lose interest in me being cool, and at some point, he's gonna need a man in his life that's not my brother that can show him a different route where he does not go down the deep end of bull spitty spit, right? So when he said that, it was a moment where I was like, dang, my nephew can realize that although he just met Isaiah's genuineness to want to connect with him was that. It was genuinely, he just wants to connect with him, not because he's my nephew, because Isaiah loves kids and he wants to pour into kids. And so when he met them, so I guess what I'm saying is that Yashika's right. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that, but it was such a moment when my nephew went to speak to him. I was like, damn, like you're actually impacting him already that he wants to hang out with you. You've only met him twice.
Village mentality.
You know what's funny is I don't think the village, quote unquote, the village, really care for kids. I don't think they dislike kids. The village, I think the village like the order. They like the future. They like progression, right? So they want to get the person in order. We've seen the village have what's it called when you bring everybody together and you have an intervention. You have an intervention with a person. That's the village of that person. You know, usually those are adults. So, I mean, I don't think they dislike kids. I think they really like the order. And so it's easy. What does Frederick Douglass say? It's easier to, I forgot the exact quote, but basically get young boys straight than it is to try to put older men back in place. So I think that the village realized, okay, let me get them while they're young. Hey, young man, stop hanging around with that group over there. Hey, young man, stop throwing rocks, whatever the case may be, and do it this way. And so he gets them back in the order. So I think that's the cool part because there's no discrimination with that.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, young man, come get your hair brushed.
Let's do it.
Hey, young man, you don't want to know what his brush is.
You don't even ask. Just come get your hair brushed. Hey, yo, who we got on the show next week?
We're going to have a great group on. We're actually going to be interviewing gay men who put S on the end of everything they say. And we're just going to be asking, is it just gay or are they living in abundance? Nursing mothers with nipple piercings. We just want to let them know that's not the source of iron the doctor's talking. So we got a lot of money. Auto mechanics with clean hands, and we can ask them what the hell you been doing all day. I like men's cockeyed dodgeball players. And the name of the show will be Nature's Cheat Code. Ballerinas who suffer from ingrown toenails. And the name of the show gonna be No Pain, No Gain. Midgets that are applying for the police department. And we're gonna name the show gonna be Standing Tall for Justice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do you like dudes in the hood. I'm like, we ain't scared of you. Come on, Zach, let's get it.
All right. Ready when you are.
Hey, look, I found one of those old hairbrushes.
Yeah, no, none of them look like that. None of them
Now,
look like that.
don't do my ace like that.
Yeah, none of them look like that.
That none look like that, eh?
That's how they you look right before they start brushing their head.
They was good old wave brushes. They were wave brushes.
That's funny.
It's on you.
Now that's funny, those brushes, but it's not gonna be as funny as this next joke.
Oh, y'all, we can't ready. Y'all, we can't wait.
This is isn't this the first? No, this is the second joke of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We still, you know what? We started the year off strong last week. If y'all missed it, so go back and watch. So I just know Ace is gonna keep it going. The village is behind you right now, Ace.
Let's
see what you got.
The village. Ooh, the village.
10 fingers.
Hey, what's up, you see?
We have a few people watching. The few people who are watching, we want you to pay attention and give Ace 0 to 10. Starting at 0 to 10 on this next one. Yashika, I'm ready.
There's no fun in that. I can score now.
Hey, yo, Ace.
What's up, Yashika?
Who we got on the show next week?
I'm glad you asked. Well, next week we're gonna start off with our diversity for the new year. So we'll actually be talking to the owners of the new Muslim food craze. I can't believe it's not bacon. And the name of the show will be "It's Fine, It's Almost Swine."
I'm waiting on Tony Goodson right now. Come on, Tony. I'm waiting on Tony Goodson. Come on,
everybody.
Solid 6.
We're gonna add.
You gotta get at the new Muslim food craze. I can't believe it's not bacon. That's classic.
Almost swine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's almost swine.
All right, since you explained it, I'm gonna give you a 7. I'll give you a 7.
Oh, Tony Goodson said 7.
Oh, you got a 7.
See, that's a village right there. That's a village.
Vinny, what you got? Everybody else, give us what you got.
I feel like I'm in Sulphur Springs watching a football game.
Vernetta Williams. That a 3. Mine too. She said a 3. Ain't Vernetta. She said, okay, Ace. Maybe a 8.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
But she went down to that. Oh, that's Vinny. Vinny said an 8. Okay.
Yeah, these low scores, they know some Muslim people, and they probably got.
Tamara gave you a 5.5. We need one more.
I broke 500.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good right now.
And if I offended any of my brothers out there, look, I buy the final call every time I pass my lunch and lead better. She ain't nothing.
Damn, it's cold.
It's cold out here.
You know, I changed my score. That was a solid 10, Ace.
That's the village.
The average is going up. Hey, we thank y'all, each and every one of y'all who not only commented, who watched. We've enjoyed this show. Next week we have a great show for you. The year is starting off great. We're excited. Hey, be sure y'all listen. Go to YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. Rebrand this podcast. We have some really good shows. In particular, we want you to go watch Orange Juice Jones, our reaction towards that. It's a lot of fun. It was crazy. We've actually gone viral.
Oh, look at it, that closet.
So to speak. See y'all next.
Sometimes you gotta go look at yourself and go, I'm ready to relinquish this.
I'm one of them people, hey, you gotta give a man a day in court.
The underlining of all of it is authenticity, right?
She's making them money, so they gonna put the camera on her because she is paid.
I think the prize is the other person. We have not integrated in the United States. Start buying some of the things that we have to offer. Then we will see a difference in how we act as Black people.